एक छोटा सा चेकबॉक्स और पूरा प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम गिर गया।
But wait, was it really? What happens when a user does everything right? The interface seems to be totally okay with it, but deep down, the system starts to poison itself? Well, this is the story of a massive failure that all started with one single innocent-looking click.
All right, let's get right into it. Picture this: a totally standard broadband shifting flow. You've got a customer, an agent helping them out on the screen, and everything looks completely normal, just business as usual. But lurking right there, in plain sight, was a hidden trap.
So here's exactly what went down. The user sees this option, a checkbox for some new next-gen wireless tech. To them, it's just a simple choice, an upgrade. I mean, the checkbox is right there, it's not grayed out, so why wouldn't you click it? Here's the catch. The product they actually had was an old, legacy enterprise model. It was completely 100% incompatible with this new technology. But did the system stop them? Nope. The click went through, the box got checked, and the whole process just moved along without a single warning or error. A time bomb had just been set.
You know, this right here really gets to the heart of the problem. It is so easy to just blame the UI, right? To say it was showing the wrong thing. But the UI wasn't being malicious, it was just an interface. It was following a script. It had zero intelligence, no context about the product, its limitations, nothing. It was just a dumb screen. And that's exactly where the real danger started.
See, the really critical part of this story is that the system didn't just blow up right away. Honestly, that would have been a gift. Instead, something way more dangerous happened. A process of silent data corruption kicked off, creating this ticking time bomb deep inside our database. Let's follow the trail of this poison. That one little checkmark started a whole chain reaction. The UI, trying to be helpful, automatically filled in a whole bunch of technical attributes for that new tech. So now the order was this: Frankenstein's monster. Part old legacy product, part new next-gen setup. And this totally invalid, corrupted order, it's saved to the database without a problem. It looked fine, but it was completely broken under the hood. And then, when this order hit the actual downstream provisioning systems, the ones that do the real work, they just exploded. Boom! They had no idea how to handle this impossible request, and the entire workflow ground to a halt. Okay, so production is on fire. Alarms are blaring, and the pressure is on. The first instinct is always to find the fastest fix possible. Just slap a Band-Aid on it, get things working again. But we knew that would be a huge mistake.
And of course, all the usual suspects, the quick fixes, came up. First idea, just hack the UI script. If product is X, then hide the checkbox. Simple, right? Or, okay, let them click it, but then add a validation check somewhere down the line that'll throw an error. Or even worse, just let the bad data save, and we'll run a cleanup script later to fix the mess. All of these would have fixed the immediate problem, but they also would have created a system held together with duct tape and wishful thinking.
And this is exactly why those quick fixes are such a terrible idea. They're reactive. They're always playing defense, waiting for the bad data to happen. They're fragile. Change one tiny thing in the UI code or the product name, and the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. And most importantly, they are completely upgrade hostile. The second you try to upgrade your core platform, these little custom patches are the first things to break, turning every single upgrade into an absolute nightmare.
If you've ever had to hunt down an invisible bug like this in production, go ahead and hit that like button. And you should definitely subscribe, because this is where we take apart real system failures. Okay, so we took a huge step back. We decided to stop firefighting and actually start engineering. The problem was never the checkbox. The real problem was the system's core logic. We had to stop treating the symptom and finally cure the disease.
And this right here, this is the whole mindset shift in one slide. The old way is making the UI responsible for everything. We try to cram all this business logic into the front end. The new way, the right way, is to make the core logic the single source of truth and have it tell the UI how to behave. The UI just goes back to being a dumb terminal, which is exactly what it's supposed to be.
The solution was actually beautiful and had two main parts. And get this, no custom code, all native configuration. The first piece was something called a calculated field. Just think of it as a little piece of dynamic logic. It doesn't store anything, it just figures out a value on the fly based on other data. It's basically the brain of our operation. The second piece of the puzzle is something called a user property. I know it's a bit of a technical name, but the idea is super simple. It's basically the bridge. It's the thing that connects our brain, that calculated field, directly to an element on the screen.
and it tells the entire framework how that element needs to behave.
So how complicated was this brain logic? Check this out. It's literally one if statement. We created a calculated field that just asks, is the product type legacy enterprise? If the answer is yes, it returns a Y. If not, it returns an N. That's it. That's the entire logic. Super simple, super clear, and based on data that isn't going to change.
And now for the magic trick. This is part 2, the bridge. We used a built-in property called field read only field and just pointed it at the calculated field we just made. This one line of configuration is basically a direct order given to the entire application framework.
So what exactly is that order? It's telling the framework, hey, before you even think about showing that checkbox on any screen, first, go check the value of our calculated field. If that value is Y, then you must, no exceptions, show this checkbox as disabled and read-only. We didn't have to write a single line of UI script, no patched workflows. The core framework itself now enforces our business rule, automatically.
So let's talk about the impact of doing things this way. Because this wasn't just about fixing a bug, this was a fundamental shift from hacking things together to building real architecture. We went from being reactive firefighters to being proactive engineers.
And the result is just perfect. It's clean, it's predictable, and it's always correct. Now, when a user brings up a legacy product, that checkbox is grayed out, disabled. They literally can't click it. There's zero confusion. And if they have a newer, compatible product, the checkbox is on, ready to be used. The system finally behaves intelligently because that intelligence is baked right into its core.
And the long-term wins here are huge. First off, invalid data can't even be created anymore. We've completely eliminated the poison right at the source. There are no fragile scripts just waiting to break during the next platform upgrade, which means this fix is rock solid and future-proof. We didn't just add to our technical debt, we actually removed it. The whole system is just fundamentally healthier now.
And really, it all comes down to this one simple idea. If your go-to solution for every new business rule is to go in and start hacking away at a UI script, you are not engineering, you are firefighting. Real engineering is about building a system where the logic is central and the UI just listens and adapts. जब लॉजिक UI को कंट्रोल करता है, सिस्टम सच बोलना शुरू करता है। सब्सक्राइब करो अगर आप सिर्फ कोड नहीं, इंजीनियरिंग सीखना चाहते हो।